Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to What's on the Playlist today. Today, we're talking about Jimmy Buffett's "Living and Dying in Three-Quarter Time," image of which you will see here. This is not Jimmy Buffett's earliest album, but it's the first album of his that I have. My original choice for today was going to be something a bit more obscure than Jimmy Buffett, but then someone posted a clip of him playing on the Late Show from a while back on social media. It's like, nope, we're doing this now. Doing Jimmy Buffett now. So like I said, this is actually his fourth album. It was released in 1974. I think it's a second album. He switched recording companies after his first two albums. So this is his second album with the new recording company. I don't know what the name of the company is. It's probably not relevant. This album is a bit of departure for Jimmy Buffett in that most of his earlier albums and a lot of his subsequent albums have like the island Caribbean type of theme to it. This is slightly different. This is his first album to break the Billboard Top 200, although it only got up as high as 176. It also contains his first top 40 single, Come Monday, which he actually wrote about his then girlfriend at the time, who he did eventually marry. I don't know if that's his first, second wife, what have you. Jimmy Buffett is a bit of a unique character. He basically invented his own musical style, which is, I mean, it's not quite country, it's not quite rock and roll. It's not quite Caribbean. I think when I looked it up, it was termed as Gulf rock, or it's his own musical. He has his own style. It's kind of folk music, kind of country. He's done a lot of collaborations with country singers, and he does well on country radio stations and in country charts. This album actually did not do as well in country charts as his other albums have done, interestingly enough. Another song, what was it? Pencil Thin Mustache. Yes. I do like that song, actually. So this is, I don't want to say traditional. Pencil Thin Mustache is more like a throwback to 1930s, 1940s style of music. Come Monday is more of an easy listening ballad. A couple cover songs on this album too that I know that I think the Ballad of Spider John is one of the cover songs. One that I do know is God's Own Drunk, which I have always loved. Now, he didn't write that. It's a guy named, I think, John Bentley from the 30s and 40s wrote it. He was like a comedian from that era, whose personality, his like stage persona was this pompous, British guy. Jimmy Buffett's rendition of this is more like some backwoods hillbilly. It's a story basically about a guy who is babysitting a friend's still, moonshine still up in the mountains. He became God's own drunk. Why don't you meet my buddy Bear? It's hilarious. I really love it. It's also one of the things, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before. Local radio station that I grew up with was WBLM. At the time, they were in Lewiston, Auburn, Maine. And they were a tiny little radio station broadcasting out of a trailer in this middle of the state town. And they were just a bunch of stoners. They really were. They would play whatever the hell they felt like, no care or in the world about how popular. They became popular because they didn't care. They just played whatever they thought was fun. And it was actually a big shame when they got popular, because then they started caring about what they played and they became more of a top 40 station. That's not about the album. That's about local radio. About the album. It's a departure from his previous stuff. Money as feature his current girlfriend. What else can I say about Jimmy Buffett? When trying to look up something to say about this, he was always interested in music, but when he went to college, a friend of his during college, first year of college, gave him a guitar, which he learns to play in order to get girls. He failed out of college in his first year because he could not reconcile his interest in music and girls with doing his classes, which is something I could see Jimmy Buffett doing. That is very much his style. Laid back, casual, does not take himself too seriously, is one of the things I've always liked about him. I don't think even when, at the height of his fame, he had parrot head followings, and this is not one of his top charting albums, but it is one of his earliest, contains some of his earliest hits. And he's pretty much been a solid performer ever since. I mean, this kind of became, he put out an album with a couple of really great songs that would chart well on the radio, and the rest was maybe just fun stuff that people liked. And this is just the start of that, that journey, for me at least. I'm not sure if this was the first album of his that I heard, or the first songs of his that I heard. It might have been. I was listening to radio in 1974. And this is more the style of music that my parents would have listened to. They were not into the harder rock stuff. They were more easy listening, than my contemporary peers, who at the time were listening to Elton John and Led Zeppelin. So that is what that is. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, why would you do that? And why would you watch any of my other crap? Because it's all crap. And until next time, good hunting.